couple of weeks ago, I watched the movie Obsession with a couple of my friends and my girlfriend, and it was literally the best movie I've watched in so long. It kind of reminded me of what movies used to feel like back then, like when I was growing up in the 2010s. Um, I feel like it was finally something enjoyable to watch and not too hard to understand, which is very refreshing nowadays because I feel like the movie industry has kind of been dying alongside music and just general entertainment as is, because honestly, people like to throw the blame on the the fact that there's so many like remakes and sequels being made and no original stories. But I think even besides that, there's just a general lack of creativity going on in as a whole, because there has been like quote unquote new franchises being made, or like new titles and original stories being made of movies recently, and it's as a whole just been so underwhelming. Like I'll watch like a movie trailer and it's not even interesting. It doesn't even interest me in the slightest. Like I do not care what could possibly happen. So it's very refreshing to see a movie that's just it just kind of right away brought hooked me in. I actually didn't even see any trailers or anything for this movie. But my girlfriend was telling me that it's just been really talked about widely, and she doesn't even like horror. She actually hates horror movies. But she was like, "We need to watch this one. I'm just hearing too much about it." I don't know what she was saying. I really am out of like the entertainment side of things. I don't hear anything about new movies or anything lately. But I was like, yeah, I'm down. I always have to watch with someone, otherwise it's like feels like I'm wasting time, unless it's a franchise that I really, really care about already, or something that just genuinely really interests me. But it takes a lot for me to just put on a movie by myself. Anyways, so we watched it, and I was just blown away. This was a really good watch. And honestly, I just think it stems from the fact that it's not hard to understand. It's something you can watch and understand quickly right away, like what's going on. It creates a good vibe, some solid cinematography. The cinematography is good. And yeah, just like, you can watch it and it's entertaining. Like you're kind of wondering what's going on next. Does a really good job. The writing is great. The actors smashed it out of the park and whatever. Like the actors did a really great job. Of course, that's another big part. But even if the actors weren't even great, like I think in the 2010s, like there was a lot of mid actors, or so-called mid, like there was a lot of hated actors, but they starred in movies that are like smash hits anyways. Like when the writing is good enough, like it's just, like you don't need an over dramatic actor every single time, or like half the time the good acting isn't even like great. Actually, when I hear of like a Oscar award like performance or something like that, or I think it's Oscars, right? Like the movies awards, I don't even know, I'm like forgetting hardcore, but I think it's an Oscar. So when I hear about those, like half the time I'm like, it'll be for like a movie I didn't even really care for, or something like that. I don't even know. But yeah, like you don't have to be a fantastically great actor. Just like if you have good lines and you say them good enough, like the movie can be great, I think. And I think honestly, like that's kind of one of those things, like the details. People were focusing, I think directors were focusing way too hard on like dramatic acting, and dude, I don't even know, like the writing has always been so underwhelming lately. um but they'll get like the same actor because they're such a big actor. Like I don't even know what makes them great, and not to shade any big block actors right now, but I'll give you the example of like Timothy Chalamet. I have seen him literally everywhere. Like I don't know. He was literally Willy Wonka. Like what? That's kind of crazy. Like I don't even think he looks like a Willy Wonka. You know. And I didn't even watch that movie. It wasn't even interesting. Like the reboot of Willy Wonka. I liked it as a kid for sure, but like when I saw the new thing, it kind of looked like a cool little watch for like Christmas. I think it came out during Christmas. You know, it's like a little vibey that's kind of nostalgic, but I never found the time for it. Nowadays, like it's really hard to find time for things just because everything's engineered to steal your time. So that does make watching movies harder. But you know, when the movie is good enough, that time is found, and that time was found for Obsession, man. It was great. Like not even exaggerating. Yeah, I'm glazing that movie so hard. It was so refreshing. Along with that, the movie The Drama with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya was a really good watch as well. I wouldn't say that's like a movie that wow, like it was a freaking amazing or fantastic like blew my mind kind of thing. The way I would feel like I could say for Obsession, but that movie was really good still. Like it was a very good watch, and I'd say it's better than 90% of the slop that's been like produced. I kind of really just I knew about that before watching the movie really. Obviously because of like Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, like there was a lot of hype around like just the pair. I saw a lot of like social media posts mostly just talking about how respectful they were for each other like during the movie and like their relationships or something like that. Like that's genuinely the promo that I was watching for that movie, and I was like, hey, like I like these two actors, let me see what they got. Because it also wasn't like, again, I don't think it was like over dramatized. Like honestly it just seemed like something to check out, so I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. I watched it not right when it came out, but like sometime after, and it was solid. I liked it. I think it was around the time of Hail Mary Project, right? I think that's what that movie was called. And you know, those two movies actually did really good, like kind of bouncing off of another. I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they were like around the same time. I watched Hail Mary as well. Now, I'm not gonna like glaze Hail Mary because honestly I didn't love Hail Mary, but it was good, and that's another refreshing thing to see. I feel like the cinematography of Hail Mary was kind of like 2000 or just older movie-esque. Like it just felt really cool to see the visuals. I don't think cinematography can really carry an entire movie. Like it still has to, like I said, everything is based on the storytelling. And I think this is like a point that I didn't even finish earlier, but so many movies are just so centered on like maybe getting like a top 10 actor, and then like cinematography, like there's so much cinematography slop out there right now. I think honestly, I hate to say it, but like it's kind of being overdone. And I don't entirely know why, but everyone, you know, I'm sure you've heard of the what is it, Netflix lighting, where like everything looks, I don't even know actually. I think everyone has a very different opinion on what that means. Personally, I feel like Netflix lighting typically is mentioned in movies that just don't have much color. Like it's more monotone. I don't even know if that's the right word, but like doled out colors kind of thing. And like the lighting is, some people say it's like overexposed, some people say it's underexposed. And you will find people arguing about that online. So like I don't think as a whole people even know. Like I think it's just kind of a term thrown around for movies nowadays that I guess more or less don't look spectacular. And that's literally the result of just movies trying to look spectacular, I feel like. But that is just something that I think will finally die out soon, hopefully. Overall, the huge mess and just degradation of like film and movies recently, I think is just obviously like these corporation like film companies. I don't even know if they are corporations. I don't know what corporation actually means, but like, you know, these big box office like movie producers and, you know, Paramount Walt Disney, all these, like, the big guys in the movie industry are just, I mean, everyone says they're playing it safe, just coming up with like very safe like stories to tell. Like, and I don't even know if that's entirely it, but you could definitely say that and put an argument for that. But it's just like, what are they doing? They're putting out $200 million like films. I don't even know what the number is. Like, dude, I swear there's probably a movie that was like almost $1 billion or something like that. No, that's a billion is a huge number. I don't even know. But you hear these huge numbers for like the budget for some of these movies, and then like lately you've been hearing about how much they don't even make like 20% back of that or something. And it's like, when I first heard that kind of news, I think it was for a Marvel film, when Marvel started kind of like running out of ideas and not knowing what to do. They made a movie that was like huge and nobody watched it, and they lost so much money. But literally now that happens left and right. Big movies losing millions of dollars. Who's taking the hit for all this, and why haven't they decided to change? Like, it's at this point, it's been like maybe 4 to 5 years of this. So why is it just continuing like the mediocrity of all that? But yeah, the good thing is that I feel like finally there's some kind of like interesting tales being told. And I think especially with the fact that it's an indie movie, this Obsession movie that just came out. And I mean, I guess I haven't talked about the backrooms yet, but that's something I'll talk about right after. But in the news lately, it's like people are saying indie films, but A24 is not an indie film production team anymore. Like A24 is huge. But definitely smaller than, I guess, what was it, Disney or like Walt Disney that made that Star Wars film that came out. That was like another one of those like huge budget, not even making something percent back of it, like just a huge loss. I just think like, yeah, now these indie developers have less of a thing to stick to. They can experiment more, I guess, and have more freedom, but in general are just producing easier stories. I mean, when you have like an entire team create the script or something for a movie, like there's bound to be so many like mixed opinions, and oh, you should do this and you should do that. And I'm sure like somewhere along the story, the essence of a movie script or like the story that you're going to tell in a movie gets lost. I mean, you couldn't possibly blend and mesh so many perspectives together and make something like consistent, right? Like it's like a continuous story. Like, it's just, that's what I feel like has been happening when I watch movies sometimes, like the big box ones. It's just kind of plays out, and I'm like, what am I sticking to here? Like, what am I rooting for? Like, there will be a clear objective of the movie. Protagonist needs to do this or XYZ. It just doesn't feel engaging. It doesn't tickle my brain. It's like, okay, yeah, he needs to slay the dragon or something. He needs to overcome the challenges, blah blah blah. But it like doesn't pull my heartstrings at all. It's just kind of like, oh, yeah, this is happening, and it gets tossed in with so many other like very obvious subtail stories. Now, I'm throwing out a whole lot of criticism here, but without any examples. Let me try to think. Something I think about, and I'm not even sure if that's entirely what I'm talking about, but the movie Elemental from Disney was I didn't even watch the movie, but I'll tell you why. Like, from the trailer, I could already tell everything that's going to happen, basically. I know what the movie's about. It just made it so obvious. Like, it's the different elements are different cultures or races of people. You probably, right? I think that's what the gist of the movie is. I feel like you can get that right away. And it's Disney. They're making a story that's talking about maybe like inclusivity or DEI, or just anti-racism, which is great. But how are you going to tell an interesting story about this when like you kind of already know what they're going for? And I don't know. I just feel like that's such an elementary idea. And obviously it's a Disney movie. It's for kids, but like Disney movies, at least back then, had always been really good at like telling a strong story that like adults could like, watch with their kids and be entertained by. It's like deep and it kind of hits your heart a little bit. But I feel like that movie just obviously a tale about, oh, water can't mix with fire, but if you love each other in the end, everything will, maybe I should watch the actual movie before I actually make a solid opinion on it. But that's just an example of just like what I feel like is kind of like slop, especially with a subject that's so powerful of like mixing cultures and, inclusivity, which is very strong and needed right now for sure. Um, like when you have a subject like that, like you have to really nail it. Like you need to make a good story, man, because what you end up doing if you just kind of produce slop is like you're making this topic seem like slop, and then people are all like, oh, this movie is so woke, like this, we don't need woke garbage, oh, I mean, I don't really hear it as much anymore, but like there was such a revolt against quote unquote woke movies and like woke storylines to the point where like people genuinely had like a huge like opposition to a story that had anything to do with inclusivity, a gay protagonist or a black protagonist, a person of color protagonist. Like people would literally see that and start complaining about it, which is literally insane. But at the end of the day, the movies that they were making with a woke like message, they were boring. Like I didn't know a really good one that came out that really made me think, hey, like let's all unite together and like be happy together. You know what I mean? Like obviously that's my opinion and my mindset, but I can't say I watched any movies that made me feel like, you watch a movie and you finish it and you should feel something. You should be wanting to do something kind of in a way. Like it should kind of inspire you. But like it wasn't really, nothing was inspiring because it's just kind of like, what they're going to say, what the message is, everything about the movie already before it even starts. So it's just like, yeah, it's uncreative. I don't even know if that's a word, but yeah. So like, I think there has to be some kind of a reset, which is kind of what might be happening. Like people need to just stop telling complex stories and just tell a simple tale, because like back then, like movies didn't have to be so complicated. And like if you're gonna make a movie, and I'm not saying it doesn't have to be woke. Like that's definitely not what I'm saying, and I don't want anyone to think that that's what I'm saying. I would love to see woke movies with like just a genuine interesting idea, like a movie about a gay protagonist where the story isn't about being a gay protagonist or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like when there's a movie about some kind of marginalized group, the story is going to be just about how they're a marginalized group most of the time, and that's just kind of that's where I'm getting at. Like I don't like, let's tell stories here, so yeah, Obsession was just a great watch overall, super easy to digest, and I love it. I want to see easier, simple to understand stories like that come to the big screen more often. And yeah, that's kind of my thought on that.